Picture this. It's early morning. You step outside, barefoot on cool soil, a warm mug in hand. The world's quiet, except for a few birds gossiping in the trees. And right in front of you, your garden stretches out like a promise kept. Food growing everywhere, lush, abundant, and you didn't even have to try. Welcome back, my friends, or if you're new here, welcome home. This channel is all about helping you build a rich, thriving garden without breaking the bank or burning out. So, if you're ready to garden smarter, not harder, hit that subscribe button right now and let's grow something beautiful together. Now, grab your cup, take a seat, and let's meet the first plant in this lazy gardener's dream. Plant 1, Chives. Let's start with one of the most loyal plants you could ever welcome into your garden. Chives are the kind of friend every lazy gardener needs, faithful, forgiving, and quietly generous. You plant them once, and they promise to return year after year, whether you remember them or not. They don't sulk if you forget to water. They don't pout if you neglect them for a while. They simply wait, and when the season is right, they rise again, green and graceful, like a soft whisper of life returning. Stand in front of a patch of chives early in the morning, and you'll notice how their slender leaves sway gently with the breeze, catching droplets of dew that shimmer like tiny pearls in the sunlight. If you brush your hand across them, the air fills with that mild, oniony fragrance, earthy, warm, and instantly familiar. It's a scent that makes your garden feel alive. But here's what makes chives magical. They don't just grow, they give. Every inch of this plant has something to offer. You can snip the tender green stalks and chop them into scrambled eggs for that fresh bite that wakes up your breakfast. Sprinkle them over soups, salads, or potatoes, and suddenly your meal tastes like it came straight from nature's kitchen. And when you want to impress guests without trying, toss a few chive blossoms into your dish. Those round purple flowers are edible too, with a gentle flavor and a burst of color that turns simple food into something special. Plant 2, Asparagus. Next up, let's talk about a garden treasure that rewards patience like no other. Asparagus. At first glance, asparagus might not look like much. Those thin, green spears poking out of the soil seem shy, almost unsure of themselves. But don't let that fool you. Asparagus is a quiet powerhouse. Once it settles into your garden, it becomes a lifelong companion, returning every spring with tender shoots that taste like sunshine and earth. The first year, it may test your patience. You'll plant it, water it, and wait, wondering if it's even growing. But this plant plays the long game. It's building roots deep underground, preparing for years of steady harvests. And once it takes hold, it becomes unstoppable. You'll step into your garden one morning, and there they'll be. Bright green spears pushing through the soil like nature's promise kept. The beauty of asparagus lies in its rhythm. Every spring, it rises. Every year, it gives a little more. You don't have to dig it up or replant it. Just mulch it lightly, water when you remember, and it will handle the rest. In fact, too much attention might even annoy it. Asparagus prefers space to do its own thing. Plant 3, Rhubarb. Now, if your garden had a storyteller, one that loved to return each year with color and charm, it would be rhubarb. Rhubarb is one of those plants that seems to grow with personality. Its bold red stalks push through the soil early in spring, long before most plants even wake up. They stretch confidently, crowned with large, crinkled green leaves that look like they were painted by hand. Just standing beside it, you feel like your garden's alive again after the quiet of winter. And the best part? Rhubarb is one of those plants that actually thrives on being left alone. You don't need to hover or fuss. Once it's settled in, it'll grow year after year, strong, vibrant, and generous. Give it a sunny corner and a bit of compost once in a while, and it will repay you with abundance every season. But what makes rhubarb truly special is how little it asks in return. It shrugs off cold weather, brushes by neglect, and keeps showing up. Even if you forget it for a year, it forgives you. And the next spring, it rises again like a gentle reminder that growth never really truly stops. Plant 4, Egyptian walking onion. Now, if there's one plant that seems to have its own mind, a plant that moves, grows, and multiplies without you lifting a finger, it's the Egyptian walking onion. This one's a little rebel in the garden. Unlike your regular onions that stay politely in their row, this plant likes to explore. It grows tall, green stalks that shoot up proudly, and at the top, it forms clusters of little baby onions called bulbils. When those get heavy, they bend down and touch the soil, and just like that, they take root and start a brand new plant. It's like watching nature walk across your garden. You don't have to replant it, divide it, or pamper it. It does all the work for you. Once it's in the ground, it spreads slowly but surely, creating a self-sustaining patch of onions that come back every year. You can use the green stalks like scallions, or pull up a few small bulbs when you need flavor in your cooking. The taste? Sharp, earthy, and full-bodied. A little kick that reminds you why homegrown food always feels richer. And here's the beauty of it. Even if you forget to water or weed, the Egyptian walking onion doesn't mind. It's one of those plants that thrives on independence. You plant it once, and it keeps feeding you without complaint, asking only for sunlight and a bit of space to wander. Plant 5. Kale. Kale is that quiet overachiever every garden needs. Strong, reliable, and ready to feed you all year long. It's one of those plants that asks for so little, yet gives so much. Once you plant kale, it doesn't just grow, it thrives, even when everything else around it struggles. You can almost feel its determination. Whether it's under the hot sun or facing cool winds, kale keeps standing tall, broad leaves catching droplets of morning dew, their deep green veins glowing softly in the light. Touch them, and you'll feel that subtle strength, sturdy but flexible, like a plant built for endurance. What makes kale perfect for a lazy gardener is its patience. Forget to water it for a few days? It forgives you. Harvest a little too much? It bounces right back. In many climates, kale will keep growing through fall, and in some, it even sweetens after a light frost. That's nature's secret. A touch of cold turns its flavor softer, milder, almost buttery. Each leaf is packed with nutrients: iron, calcium, vitamins A and C, turning simple meals into something nourishing. You can pluck the young leaves for salads, or let them mature for soups, smoothies, or stir-fries. And because it keeps regenerating from the center, you'll have an endless supply without replanting. Plant 6. Jerusalem artichoke or sunchoke. Now let's talk about one of the most effortlessly abundant plants you'll ever grow, the Jerusalem artichoke, also known as sunchoke. If there was ever a plant that defined the phrase, plant it and forget it, this is it. Once you drop a few tubers into the soil, they take charge. No pampering, no fertilizers, no delicate tending. Just sunlight, a bit of rain, and they'll transform your garden into a sea of tall golden blooms that look like miniature sunflowers smiling back at you. Beneath all that beauty lies the real treasure: knobby, nutty-flavored tubers hiding quietly in the soil. They look humble, almost shy, but once you dig them up, you'll realize just how generous this plant is. Roast them, mash them, or sauté them. They have a sweet, earthy flavor, like a cross between a potato and a chestnut. And the best part? No matter how many you harvest, they always come back. Leave a few in the ground, and they'll regrow year after year, stronger, fuller, more abundant. But a word of honesty, Jerusalem artichokes don't know how to quit. They spread easily, sometimes more than you expect, and that's the beauty of it. For a lazy gardener, that means guaranteed food and flowers without constant replanting. Just give them a corner to call their own, and they'll reward you endlessly. Plant 7. Sorrel. Now let's talk about a plant that wakes up your garden and your taste buds with almost no work at all. Sorrel. Sorrel is one of those plants that feels alive with flavor. The moment you taste it, that lemony tang hits you, sharp, refreshing, and bright, like a squeeze of sunshine. It's nature's way of reminding you that simple things can still surprise you. And the best part? You barely have to lift a finger. Sorrel is a hardy perennial. Once you plant it, it settles in and keeps coming back season after season. It laughs at neglect, shrugs off pests, and flourishes in both rich soil and rough corners where nothing else wants to grow. A few leaves snipped here and there will quickly grow back, eager to feed you again. In spring, when most greens are still stretching awake, sorrel is already up, waving its fresh green leaves in the breeze like it's calling you over. You can harvest it early and often, toss it into salads, blend it into soups, or stir it into sauces for that natural citrus kick. In cooler months, it keeps growing strong, unfazed by a little chill, staying green long after other plants fade. What makes sorrel perfect for lazy gardeners is its independence. You don't need to fuss with fertilizers or constant watering. Once its roots are settled, it just gets on with life. Every year it grows thicker and fuller, covering the ground in lush green, keeping weeds at bay, and feeding you without complaint. Plant 8. Mint. Ah, mint. The plant that refuses to be ignored. If your garden had a scent, this would be cool, crisp, and alive. Just brushing past it sends a burst of fragrance through the air, wrapping you in that cool, minty calm that instantly makes everything feel lighter. Mint is the definition of effortless abundance. You plant it once, and it takes over joyfully, confidently, like it's claiming its space in the world. For the lazy gardener, that's a blessing. No coaxing, no pampering. Mint grows because it wants to. Give it sun, give it a little soil, and it will fill the gaps, covering bare patches with a blanket of green that never fails to look lush. Its leaves shimmer in the sunlight, soft to the touch but full of energy. Pick a few, crush them gently between your fingers, and breathe in, that cool aroma carrying memories of freshness, of morning tea, of quiet moments that feel like home. Use them in drinks, sprinkle them over desserts, blend them into sauces, or steep them in warm water for a calming herbal tea. Mint doesn't just grow, it refreshes, it heals, it uplifts. The only thing mint asks is space. It likes to roam, to stretch its roots and explore every inch of soil it can find. So if you don't want it taking over, plant it in a container or a corner where it can spread freely, without crowding others. But truth be told, part of its charm is that wild spirit. It's the plant that reminds you gardens aren't meant to be perfect, they're meant to be alive. Hey, before we keep going, if you're enjoying this journey so far, take a second to show your garden some love. Hit that like button if you found at least one plant that made you think, wow, I need that in my garden. It really helps the channel grow and reach more nature lovers like you. And tell me in the comments, which of these plants are you already growing, or which one are you most excited to try next? I read every single comment, and I love hearing how your gardens are growing in your part of the world. Plant 9. Comfrey. Every garden needs a healer, a plant that gives more than it takes. That's Comfrey. Comfrey is the deep worker in the garden world. Its roots reach far down into the soil, pulling up hidden nutrients that other plants can't reach. And then like a gift, it brings all that goodness to the surface into its thick, soft leaves that feel almost like velvet when you touch them. This plant is a powerhouse, quietly transforming your soil and feeding everything around it. You don't have to fertilize or pamper it. It does the work itself. Every time you cut it back, those nutrient-rich leaves can be dropped right on the ground as mulch or turned into a natural compost tea. The result? Dark, healthy soil that keeps your garden thriving without a single store-bought product.
Plant 10. Strawberries. There's something magical about strawberries. Just hearing the word brings memories of sunshine, laughter, maybe a warm afternoon when you picked one straight from the garden and tasted that burst of sweetness for the first time. It's the fruit of simple joy. And the best part, you don't need to work hard for it. Once you plant strawberries, they quietly start building a world of their own. They spread through runners, those long, slender vines that creep gently across the soil, setting down roots wherever they touch. It's as if they're saying, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this part." Within a season or two, you'll have a carpet of green dotted with white blossoms that later turn into bright red jewels, sweet, soft, and full of life. For a lazy gardener, strawberries are pure reward. They thrive in raised beds, containers, hanging pots, even along garden edges where other plants might struggle. Just a bit of sun, loose soil, and a little love in their first year, and after that, they mostly take care of themselves. They don't need fancy fertilizers or endless weeding, and when the rains come, they soak it up and give back tenfold. Plant 10. Oregano. If your garden had a heartbeat, oregano would be part of its rhythm, soft, steady, and full of warmth. It's one of those plants that feels like home the moment you plant it. Every time the wind brushes across its tiny leaves, the air fills with that familiar, comforting aroma, earthy, herby, and rich, like the promise of a warm meal shared with friends. But beyond its scent and flavor, Oregano is a true survivor. Once established, it asks for almost nothing. Forget to water? It'll forgive you. Poor soil? It'll still thrive. Too much sun? It soaks it up like a blessing. Oregano is happiest when it's left alone, which makes it perfect for the gardener who prefers to sit back and let nature handle the details. It grows low and full, forming a soft green mat that fills garden beds beautifully. You can pinch off the tips anytime for cooking, and the plant doesn't just recover, it grows back thicker. It's a gift that keeps giving. The more you harvest, the more it rewards you. And when it blooms, delicate clusters of tiny white or purple flowers appear, gently buzzing with bees and butterflies. It turns your garden into a tiny ecosystem, fragrant, alive, and self-sustaining.
Plant 12. Thyme. Thyme is like that soft-spoken friend who never demands attention but somehow makes every room better just by being there. In the garden, it creeps low and steady, weaving through cracks, corners, and edges, filling every gap with tiny green leaves that shimmer under the sun. It doesn't just grow. It settles in, becomes part of the landscape, and refuses to be forgotten. This little perennial is as tough as they come. Poor soil? It thrives. Dry conditions? It loves them. Heavy rains? It shrugs them off. Thyme is the kind of plant that reminds you resilience doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers in green. Each tiny leaf packs a punch, concentrated flavor in miniature form. A sprinkle of fresh thyme can turn something ordinary into something gourmet. And if you're a lazy gardener, here's the beauty. Once it's established, thyme practically takes care of itself. No fuss, no drama, just sun, a little space, and it will quietly flourish for years. Plant 13. Rosemary. This one doesn't just grow, it commands presence. It's a plant that tells stories of warm sunlight, sea breezes, and meals cooked with love. And best of all, it's one of the easiest perennials you'll ever grow. Some plants feel alive the moment you touch them. Rosemary is one of them. Rub your fingers across its needle-like leaves, and that rich, piney aroma bursts out, filling the air with warmth and energy. It's sharp, yet comforting, like the scent of an open kitchen on a Sunday afternoon. But beyond its fragrance, rosemary is the embodiment of effortless beauty. It grows tall, proud, and evergreen, adding texture and structure to any garden. You can plant it in a corner, along a path, or in a pot, and it will quietly thrive for years, needing only sunlight and the occasional sip of water. And here's the lazy gardener's secret. Every time you cut rosemary, you're not hurting it, you're helping it. Pruning encourages it to grow fuller and stronger. So whether you're snipping sprigs for roast chicken, bread, or homemade oils, you're also grooming a healthier, bushier plant. Plant 14. Lemon balm. If happiness had a scent, it might just smell like lemon balm. The first time you touch its leaves, you'll notice the air around you changes. It's as if the plant exhales peace, sending out that fresh, citrusy aroma that makes you instantly feel lighter. But here's the beauty. Lemon balm is one of the easiest herbs you can grow. Plant it once, and it will reward you endlessly. It's part of the mint family, which means it's strong, forgiving, and persistent. In fact, it grows so easily that many gardeners jokingly call it the cheerful wanderer. Because once it finds a spot it likes, it happily spreads and fills your garden with soft green life. Now for the lazy gardener, this is pure gold. You don't need to fuss over it. Lemon balm grows best in partial sun, but can handle full sun too. It doesn't demand rich soil or daily watering, just a bit of space, and it will do the rest. Plant 15, sage. There are plants you grow for beauty, some for flavor, and then there's sage, the plant you grow for peace. It's one of those herbs that feels alive in a spiritual way, as if every leaf carries wisdom from centuries past. Touch it and you'll feel that soft, velvety texture, almost like nature's reminder to slow down. Inhale and the scent grounds you. It's earthy, deep, and calming, like the smell of warm soil after gentle rain. Sage isn't just a plant, it's presence. It stands steady and strong, sending up gray-green leaves that shimmer silver in the sunlight. It doesn't ask for attention, but it gets it, because even from a distance, sage radiates calm strength. And for a lazy gardener, this is one of the easiest herbs you'll ever grow. Give it sunshine, give it space, and it will take care of the rest. It loves well-drained soil and hates being overwatered. In fact, the less you fuss over it, the happier it becomes. Forgetful with watering? Sage forgives. Busy week? Sage waits. It's built for survival. So there you have 15 perennial edibles plus 2 little bonus treasures, all ready to turn your garden into a self-sustaining, flavorful paradise. Each one tells a story of patience, beauty, and quiet abundance. You plant them once, and they keep coming back, reminding you that nature was never meant to be complicated. Sometimes the best gardens are the ones that let you rest. It's not about doing less. It's about doing smart things. It's about planting with intention, trusting the soil, and enjoying the gifts that come with time. Because a true garden doesn't need constant control. It just needs care and a little bit of faith. If you enjoyed this journey, go ahead and hit that like button. It tells me you're loving this kind of content and helps more garden lovers find it too. Happy gardening!